Why is Donk a much better player than you and me? To answer this question, I will analyze his playstyle on Nuke. I will show you Face It match, where he completely dominated the enemy team. In this video, I will present some very important details you can steal from Donk's playstyle. These details will help you become a much better player. Many things I show you here can even be applied in solo queue. Let's start with Donk's secret, his movement and aim. Terrorists rush ramp and run towards B. Notice that Donk doesn't move close to the ramp to help his teammate, but stays under heaven. There are two reasons for this decision. First, Glock is a better close-range pistol than the USP. Second, the terrorist might rush towards heaven. When he doesn't hear any opponents, he decides to approach the ramp on walk, as one of the terrorists might be waiting for him. Pay attention to Donk's movement. He moves to the right. The moment he spots a terrorist, he crouches for a split second and starts moving left while crouched. Then he stands up and peeks to the right again. He crouches briefly one more time and makes a slight peek to the left. Notice that unlike other players, Donk moves sideways after crouching to make himself harder target to hit. Let's look at the terrorist POV. Thanks to Donk's excellent movement, the enemy couldn't land a headshot. Next, instead of retaking from ramp, Donk decides to go to vent, where he has teammates for support. Meanwhile, there is no CTs on ramp who could refrag him. At this moment, his teammates are dying. Donk kills one terrorist in the back and moves towards the single door, where two opponents are just running out. Donk peeks to the left, crouches for a split second, and moves right while crouched. He kills another terrorist. Then he stands up, peeks to the left again, fires just one shot, and crouches again. That single bullet is enough to kill the terrorist. As you can see, Donk's movement strategy involves wide peeks in one direction. When he spots an opponent, he immediately crouches for a split second and moves in the opposite direction of his initial peek. This makes him very hard to hit in the head. Unfortunately, the last opponent plays for time and the terrorists win the pistol round. Now let me show you Donk's movement during full buy rounds. In round 4, Kritus gets 2 entry frags on A. Donk hears a terrorist near the silos, so he peeks wide to the right. After spotting the opponent, he makes a slight movement to the left and starts shooting. After firing just 2 bullets, he crouches and moves to the right again. Unlike most players, Donk crouches for a split second and immediately stands up again. This makes it very difficult to land a headshot on him. Let's see this from the terrorist POV. Thanks to Donk's great movement, Kritus misses his first shot, has to make a flick, and ends up dying. Now watch it in real time. Interestingly, Donk comes out of the fight with full HP. After securing the frag, Donk checks outside, but soon returns to the A side. At this moment a terrorist rushes into main. Donk moves to the right. As soon as he spots the enemy, he moves to the left and crouches for a split second. This earns him his second kill of the round. Let's see this from the terrorist POV. The enemy manages to hit Donk in the arm, but then he has to flick and ends up dying. The terrorist made a mistake by crouching in the open and, unlike Donk, not moving sideways. This made him an easy target. However, you must remember that this picking style doesn't always work. In round 11, Donk ends up in a 1v1. He exits the hut and spots a terrorist in the corner of main. He peeks to the left, then crouches and moves right. In this situation, Donk made a mistake by not making a wide enough peek to the right. As a result, the terrorist didn't need to flick and easily killed Donk. That's why if you want this pick to work, you must always pick wide to make it difficult for the opponent to land their first few shots. Let me show you a simple example of teamwork with a teammate. Magnoges throws a flash, rushes outside and positions himself under the silo. One of the terrorists checked this position. After a short exchange of fire, the opponent manages to escape. At this moment, another terrorist jumps onto the small blue box and starts shooting at Magnoges. Notice what Donk does. As soon as he hears shots on outside, he starts spraying through the smoke to help his teammate and save his life. He manages to kill one terrorist. Next he pulls out a G and throws it behind the boxes. One of the enemies, who had only 14 HP, dies from this grenade. At this point, Magnoges retreats to the main, while Donk peeks from the left side of the smoke and kills the sniper on the silo. Let's look at his POV. Donk has just killed a terrorist through the smoke, so Otto scopes in near the main exit. After a moment, Donk starts shooting at him, so Otto crouches. The sniper doesn't know Donk's position. First he checks behind the blue box, then the right side of the garage. At this moment, Otto spots Donk, who surprises him with his position. Otto doesn't manage to flick and gets killed. Now let's move to the terrorist side. Donk runs down the ramp and smokes the single door. He notices the door are open, so he knows a CT is somewhere on the B side. Instead of rushing, he waits for the CT to reveal his position. He peeks a few times, aiming at the silo from the right side, and quickly hides behind the wall to be a harder target to hit. DONK spots the city on the left side of the silo. He pre-aims this position and crouches. He fires only 2 bullets and kills the city with a clean headshot. Let's look at the opponent's POV. The city, even though he knew DONK spotted him, peeked again from the right side of the silo and died without reacting. If he had peeked from the left side of the silo immediately after being spotted, he might have surprised and killed DONK. Here is a cool way to surprise cities. During a pistol round, DONK has the best respawn and rushes the hut with his teammates. Notice that immediately after exiting the hut, he jumps to the right side. This makes him a harder target to hit, and the city on heaven can't land a headshot. After checking the site, he positions himself near Tetris and crouches. Thanks to crouching, cities coming from the left side of heaven can't see him. Additionally, he has teammates near the silos aiming at heaven. Therefore, his crosshair is set on the right side. Notice he keeps crouching. DONK starts shooting at the city. After firing 4 shots, he stands up and crouches again shortly after. With this movement, DONK kills the city. Let's look at the opponent's POV. He didn't even hit DONK once. Let me show you how to effectively take the A site as an entry fragger. The city threw a weak Molotov in the hut. DONK crouches in the corner behind the flames, aims at the right side of the silo, and easily kills the city. Counter-terrorist made a mistake because instead of aiming inside the hut, his crosshair was pointed at the wall. Notice that after exiting the hut, DONK stays close to the silos. This allows him to focus on checking the right side of the bomb site and on the hut without worrying about being killed by the city on heaven, since he is always behind cover. Then DONK makes a quick flick and kills the city on the hut. He throws a simple Molotov at heaven by bouncing it off the wall. Chopper kills 2 terrorists at the door, so DONK jumps onto Tetris and watches that position, expecting the opponent to peek. He hears the city reloading the MP9, so he rushes through the smoke, peeks white, and kills Chopper. Let's look at his POV. DONK once again crouches for a split second after spotting the opponent and then stands up. This time, he didn't even have to move to the opposite direction, as he killed Chopper instantly. Let me show you how to win more duels. DONK is on the main roof and notices a city slag in the garage moving left. He immediately moves to the front of the roof and aims at the garage exit. As you can see, he shoots 1-taps instead of full auto, because only the city's head is visible. Shooting full auto would make it hard to land a hit. At this moment, the city crouches to avoid being seen by DONK, so DONK approaches the roof edge, spots his head, and taps him with the AK, easily getting the kill. Chopper made a mistake by crouching. When you crouch, you move very slowly and become an easy target. When we are on the main, I have another example for you. DONK spotted a city behind a blue container. He tried to flick, but missed. Right after that, he crouched, and the counter-terrorist got the frag. As you can see, this time it was DONK who made a mistake by crouching in open area. Because of this, the opponent was able to spray full auto with the M4A1S and kill him. I have another example for you. DONK and his team rush A through the hut. A teammate kills the city by the silo, and at that moment, DONK immediately places his crosshair on heaven, expecting the second counter-terrorist to pick from there. Thanks to good crosshair placement, DONK easily kills the city. It's a long distance, so DONK once again taps instead of spraying full auto. Chopper made another mistake because he stopped and started shooting even though his crosshair wasn't on the terrorist's head. Because of that, he was an easy target to kill. Now let's move on to positioning and surprising opponents. DONK is behind the empty vent. A terrorist kills his teammate in squeaky. DONK misses a shot with the AWP. Some players in this situation would be too afraid to pick again. However, DONK does something completely different. He immediately aims at the door again. He doesn't see the opponent, so he changes position while keeping the sniper scope zoomed in. Then he disables the zoom and aims at the hut. He chooses the perfect moment and kills the terrorist. Let's look at the opponent's POV. Chopper had his crosshair aimed at the wall because he wanted to pre-fire DONK, expecting him to still be behind the empty vent. As a result, he didn't even have time to flick and was killed. A few seconds earlier, DONK heard the second terrorist running away from the lobby, so he immediately reacted and dropped vent. He opened the door just as the terrorist was running down ramp to B. Thanks to this, he got another frag and won the round. I have another example for you. At the start of the round, DONK watches outside with the AWP. He spotted the terrorist's leg on the right side of the box. To make sure he hit the opponent, he used double zoom. As you can see, Otto was left with only 2 HP. Later in the round, DONK positioned himself behind the small red box. This is a great spot to watch the roof of main, because only your head is visible. This makes you a harder target to hit. DONK chose the perfect timing and killed a terrorist on the boost behind red. Then he immediately aimed at the roof of main. The opponent picked only once, because he realized he had no chance to kill DONK. A moment later, DONK showed another interesting trick. He tried to jump onto the red box. I tested this on a server, and it's actually possible. But instead of jumping from the first step, you need to jump from the higher one. From the box, you can aim at either the right or the left side of the red container and kill terrorists running to secret. DONK didn't see any opponents, so he changed position and picked the windows. He missed a shot with the AWP. DONK aimed at the right side of the small blue box, expecting a terrorist to pick there. Then he checked the left side of the box and the garage. He guessed that the opponent either entered the garage or hid behind the blue container. Notice how DONK doesn't stay in one place, but constantly moves and changes positions. This makes him unpredictable. He wanted to reposition again, and at that moment, a terrorist picked. To ensure accuracy, DONK enabled double zoom and killed Chopper. The last terrorist is on A side. DONK climbs the ladder and immediately crouches so the opponent can't hit him. He stands up for a fraction of a second to check if the terrorist is still by the blue box. Now DONK knows the opponent's position, so he knows where to aim. He picks again and kills the terrorist. Let's look at his POV. Thanks to DONK's excellent movement, the opponent couldn't hit him. Now let's move on to simple, but very effective example of teamwork with a teammate. A friend boosts DONK onto the blue box. This is a great position, because you can aim at 3 spots: the garage, the right side of the blue container, and the main exit. DONK aims at the left side of the garage. Then he chooses the perfect timing, picks to the right and kills a city approaching outside. Let's look at the opponent's POV. Chopper didn't even have time to react. Let's move on to the next example. A terrorist threw a Molotov near heaven. Most players would change their position and retreat. DONK does something completely different. He realizes the Molotov has just landed and knows there is a fraction of a second before the flames spread. So he peeks close to the red wall and kills the terrorist with a beautiful flick from his AWP. Then he quickly pulls out his knife and strays in midair to escape as fast as possible. As you can see, he lost only 29 HP. Let's look at the opponent's POV. Because DONK picked so quickly, the terrorist didn't even have time to shoot at him. Here's another way to surprise terrorists on outside. The opponents threw a wall of smokes. DONK threw a nade into this position. As you can see, a grenade destroyed a large portion of the smokes. This allowed DONK to spot a terrorist running to secret. He made a beautiful flick and killed the opponent. Immediately after getting the frag, a terrorist jumped off the roof of the main. DONK crouched instantly and pulled his crosshair down so the opponent couldn't hit him in the head. Let's look at the terrorist POV. Thanks to DONK's quick reaction, he couldn't kill him. Now let me show you a simple grenade setup on the city side. Right after entering heaven, DONK throws a Molotov near the hut exit. Then he throws a nade into the building. Notice that his teammate also threw a Molotov there. Even if the terrorists extinguished one Molotov, they would still burn from the second one. Additionally, the HE grenade thrown by DONK would slow the opponents, causing them to take even more damage in the flames or even die. Next, DONK approaches the wall, aims at the right corner of the blue box, and clicks jump throw. The smoke lands near Squeaky. DONK threw it too early because a Molotov was still burning by the doors. If he had waited a few seconds, the smoke would have landed deeper into the doors. Thank you for watching until the end. Click on the video on the screen to watch Zyus or Monesis analysis. Write in the comments which pro player you would like to see in the next video and on which map. See you in the next one. Bye!